Hey folks, this is Billy DKY, the truth seeker who simplifies and demystifies. This is going to be episode 9 of the weekly series, Lies and Half-Truths of the Bible. I'm going to have to tell you right now, this episode really hits too close to home for me. This is the 4th time I've done this video because I just went, excuse my language, ape shit there and then I had to stop. Okay, preliminary stuff. You follow God with your actions, not your beliefs or your words. Point number 2, following God is not a closed-minded endeavor. Point number 3, the truth wins in the end, so all I have to do is speak the truth and time will do the rest. I have no need to argue with anyone. To view the playlist where you can watch all episodes, click the bubble that just popped up. It'll stay for about 15 seconds. And I also will pop that playlist up again at the end if you want to watch the full series, or this full video before looking at the series. Okay. Last week we talked about Matthew 15:7, which is, hypocrites, well did Elijah prophesy about you, saying, blah, blah, blah. And I pointed out Jesus was arguing which isn't godly behavior, thus Jesus isn't God. Okay. If you want to watch that episode first, go click the video response. It's down there. I'm not going to discuss it here. This week we will be talking about John 4:16. Which is, Jesus said to him, I am the way, the truth, the life. No one comes to the Father except through me. And the reason this is personal for me, and I'm going to try not to blow up because this is where I blew up the last couple times on this. Okay. Basically, it's like this. I knew something was wrong in this life when I was in 5th grade. I knew it. I knew something was wrong, and I've tried to lift weights and eat right and try to do things. But it still just kept getting worse. Eventually, my spiritual problems got to a head where I really needed to address it. You know, I gave science a full effort. Science didn't have my answers. Then I turned myself over to Christianity, gave myself full effort. However, Christianity did not have my answers. In fact, it got in my way. And basically, in this episode, I'm gonna talk about following the way of growth, which is what I do now, which actually saved my life and which actually continues to make me grow and help me be in harmony with God. And basically, when I needed help the most, the Bible didn't have any real answers. It was too complicated, and it doesn't really get to the core of what's really going on. It doesn't simplify. It doesn't make it easy for you really to save your life. And basically, that irritates me, and that's why I have to confront the Bible, because if I would have just left, there's only one thing that saved my life. And that is my unrelenting will to survive. And the second thing that saved my life was me seeking the truth how it really is. And I didn't care where it came from. So, when Jesus says something like this and puts himself up on an arrogant pedestal and basically gets in my way of saving my life, and I know he's getting in the way of other people, I have to address it, and that really pisses me off. And let me settle down. So anyway, basically this is nothing but a head trip for Jesus. 100% ego. Imagine if someone said this to you today. Crazy. Jesus violated principle 7 of my Following the Way of Growth blog, which is know your enemy, ego and pleasure. Jesus was his own worst enemy. You are your own worst enemy. And basically, here's what I was talking about at the beginning. Not only do I know it isn't true, but Jesus actually got in my way of saving my own life. At the time, I was violating Principle 6 of Following the Way of Growth, which is know your teacher, reality. Now I know better. I know that I never should have picked Jesus as following Jesus. I should have followed my own. I should have followed reality or used books to help me get closer to reality. You know, you only want to use book knowledge for a certain amount of period of time, and then you want to transfer over and get rid of the middleman, and reality is your teacher. Notice what I'm never pointing to. I'm never saying, oh, you need to follow Billy DKY. No, I don't care about you following. I'm giving you some information so you can follow God yourself. I'm not getting between you and God. I'm helping point to God. Jesus isn't... Let me settle down. I'm going to blow up again. Jesus isn't the way. The path is the way. Following the path out here. And you got to feel through. You got to use your 5 senses. You have to use your mind. You have to think. There ain't no easy just autopilot following God. Oh, just read the Bible. That's all you have to do. There ain't no autopilot. Following the way of growth is the way, or a way. This is nothing but cult mentality that Jesus is preaching here. Nothing but cult mentality. We all hate it and we all know it. This is nothing but Jesus trying to prop up his ego. What a head case. This is a violation of Principle 2 of Following the Way of Growth, which is apply yourself. You should never be dependent on another person's mind, but you should learn from other people. Jesus isn't the truth. He is a man who died for his arrogance. Reality is the truth. Reality is your teacher. Science doesn't going around looking for Jesus to find answers. When science finds answers, Jesus isn't there. Jesus isn't the truth. He was a man trying to find harmony, but he got screwed up on his own ego. He died for his own ego. That's it. He didn't die for your sins. You got to deal with your sins. And really, it's not even about sins. It's just your ego and your pleasure-seeking ways you got to deal with if you want a better life. Again, this is a violation of Principle 6. Know your teacher. Reality. Like I said, I've got it all figured out. It's down to the science. It may be a little bit different for you than it is for me, but it won't be much different because I've got all the BS out of it. Like I say, I've studied most religions, so I know basically what they're saying. In reality, is your teacher. It's your end goal teacher. It gets rid of all the middlemen. How dare him to make himself the gatekeeper of the way? How arrogant! All you have to do is to get closer to God is to open your mind, seek Him through your own senses. That is all. If you don't follow Principle 5, which is question everything, then you get what you deserve. You'll be like these cult people, wind up dead or getting abused, your kids getting molested. You get what you deserve if you're stupid and you don't learn. Are you starting to see what got him nailed to the cross? Equating yourself with God is a death sentence. This is his sin. It's ego. He got what he deserved. Learn the real lesson and move on. Don't be thinking you're God. If you get on your spiritual track and you start thinking you're God, you need to get over that quickly. You might get killed. You have two choices in life. You can deal with yourself or life will deal with you. Jesus refused to deal with his ego, therefore life had to deal with him. Basically, he failed Principle 3, which is discipline. He failed to discipline his ego and died for it. Face the facts, he was a radical person, which violates Principle 8 of following the way of growth, which is seek harmony and peace. He's a radical, plain and simple. There's a Buddhist saying that if you find the Buddha, kill the Buddha, which means if you find the Buddha within yourself, kill it. And it may actually mean also if you find somebody that thinks they're a Buddha, kill them too. I don't know about that. I'm not preaching that, so don't quote me on that part. Basically, folks, it's BS. There's nobody's a gatekeeper for you between you and God. And anybody that claims to be a gatekeeper deserves what they get. He got what he deserves. And if you follow him, you deserve what you get. Plain and simple. Next week, we'll be discussing Ecclesiastes 1:9, which is, and there is nothing new under the sun. Okay, I've talked about this falling away of growth throughout this video. And basically, I use scientific principles in my falling away of growth. And basically, I do what works. If it doesn't work, I don't care. I don't want to hear about it. You know, Jesus didn't work for me. Jesus didn't save me. What saved me is those 9 principles. Basically, all spirituality boils down to one word, growth. That's all it is. It boils down to that, and that's it. Don't make it complicated. And from there, I have 9 principles that actually help you live an amazing life on this earth. That's it. It ain't going to my blog's not going to prop up your ego or promise you endless pleasures in heaven and life after death. It's going to here's 3 things I claim. I claim to know what's optimal. I claim to know how to get there. And I claim to be striving for it. I don't claim to be holy or God or anything BS like that, because that is a bunch of BS, and I know it is. Okay, so if you'd like to know more about falling away growth, you click the first link in the information section. It'll take you there, and I also got another link called The Path, which is basically a repository of all the truths, little wisdoms that I've learned along the way that will help you grow too, but falling away growth is probably the better place to go. If you want to watch last week's episode, click the video response and click the video on the video response. If you want to watch all episodes, I have a playlist which the bubble just clicked up. You can click in, it'll take you to episodes. Folks, I'm not doing this to piss people off. I'm not doing this to piss Christians off. I'm doing this to help people who are just like me, who needed real help, and they didn't find it from the Bible, they didn't find it from science. That's why I'm doing it. And when you put your arrogant Christian Bible in my way, and it got in my way when I want to save my life, I'm going to deal with you. Please rate until next Wednesday. Later, folks.